What is going to happen to crypto prices in 2025? I'm sure you're wondering, and there's tons of people out there saying this and that, giving you all their pricing predictions. Well, in this video, we're going to go over all of the things related to crypto, the Bitcoin cycle, and why we think certain things are going to happen and where we think prices are going to go. And I just want to let you know a little precursor. Do not trust any particular pricing numbers out there. General movements are the best way to understand what's going to happen in crypto. So without further ado, let's get into it. First off, the Bitcoin cycle. Bitcoin goes through big changes every 4 years called the halving. Each halving means fewer Bitcoins come into the market. After this event, the price usually starts going up. This has happened every single time so far in 2012, 2016, and 2020. In 2025, we're in the middle of another cycle that started in 2024. People think that it could push Bitcoin's price even higher. For example, after the halving in 2020, Bitcoin's price jumped from around $9,000 to nearly $70,000 a year later. But each cycle, the price increases have been smaller because Bitcoin is getting bigger and more stable. That means that the 2025 rise might not be as huge as before, but still big enough to make investors excited. Historically, Bitcoin prices rise slightly before the halving, but don't explode until a few months afterwards. Usually prices stay steady or drop a bit right after the halving, but around 100 days after, prices typically start to shoot up fast from day 100 to day 400 after each past halving. Bitcoin's price jumped dramatically. For example, after the 2016 halving, Bitcoin went up about 20 times its value within a year and a half. If history repeats itself, mid to late 2025 could see another big price jump. Experts believe this pattern is likely to happen again. Knowing this helps investors decide when to buy or to sell Bitcoin. As you can see in this article right here, there's some price predictions for 2030, 2040. This update was in July of 2024. And if we scroll down here, there's a bunch of different analysts that are doing these predictions and forecasting based on their specific knowledge. Peter Brandt is a big name in the crypto industry, and it looks like his prediction is 120,000 to 200,000 per Bitcoin by September of 2025. Now, keep in mind that this was a prediction back in July of 2024. There's also tons and tons of different predictions for Bitcoin and its price. All sorts of different people are predicting lots of different things. I mean, if you look here, Max Kaiser was predicting 200,000 per Bitcoin by the end of 2024. All of these predictions tend to be wrong, but we'll get into how we can potentially make our own predictions that could be more correct. Experts think Bitcoin could reach amazing heights in 2025, and that's, obvious from these predictions that we looked at before. Some financial groups like ARK Invest say Bitcoin could hit maybe 240,000 by the end of 2025. Others like VanEck predict a peak of around 180,000. Even more careful guesses say Bitcoin could still rise above 150,000. But why so high in general? Because more big companies and investors are buying Bitcoin, which makes the price go up. While these huge numbers sound exciting, not everyone agrees. Some experts think Bitcoin will climb slower and steadier with prices closer to 100,000. Many predictions point towards Bitcoin easily passing 100,000 during 2025, which obviously we saw, making it a really exciting year for crypto investors. But, what are we going to see in the rest of 2025? In 2025, big companies and investment funds will put lots more money into crypto. This new money comes from groups like banks, retirement funds, and big investment firms. Since the start of 2024, billions of dollars have gone into Bitcoin ETFs, which are special funds that let anybody else easily buy Bitcoin, or at least invest in Bitcoin as kind of a marker for price without actually buying Bitcoin. An ETF is called an exchange trade fund, which is basically just kind of a promise of following Bitcoin's value. When big investors buy Bitcoin, the price usually rises because there's more demand. By the end of 2025, these big companies could hold billions of dollars worth of Bitcoin. Companies like BlackRock and Fidelity could help keep prices high. With more big companies involved, prices might be less jumpy because these large investors usually don't sell quickly. This means that Bitcoin could have a steadier growth and fewer sharp price drops. Even when Bitcoin prices go up, there are always times when they suddenly drop. Some experts worry about another big crash happening in 2025. In the past, Bitcoin often dropped more than 80% after reaching new highs. But now many people think these huge drops might become less common. Instead, we might have smaller, quicker drops just like we just saw from around 20 to 40%, which now we're on about the low end of that range. With many big investors holding Bitcoin, prices are less likely to completely collapse. Investors who know these patterns can prepare and even profit by buying Bitcoin when prices dip. So seeing Bitcoin at 80,000 rather than its previous 100,000 range, would be considered a dip. Now, of course, that's not financial advice, but it's just an observation. In 2025, the United States has ramped up having clearer rules on crypto. This really helps because clearer rules means more people feel safe investing. Currently, the rules are not fully clear. They're on the way to being that and on the way to improving, but historically, the unclear rules has made big investors very nervous. If the government introduces clear, fair rules, prices could rise even faster. On the other hand, if there's more strict or confusing regulations, then prices really just might fall, temporarily, of course. The US administration after the 2024 election promised better rules for crypto, boosting investor confidence, and we've seen a bit of that, at least some support within the White House. Globally, clearer rules like Europe's MiCA regulations could also support Bitcoin's price. Clear rules usually lead to more investment, driving prices upward as more people buy crypto confidently. Bitcoin's technology keeps improving, helping prices rise. New ways to use Bitcoin, like the Lightning Network, make Bitcoin faster and cheaper to use. This means more people can use Bitcoin for everyday payments. As more people adopt Bitcoin because of these improvements, demand increases, pushing prices higher. You can see on the Bitcoin hash rate chart right here, this is a perfect example of the increase in adoption of Bitcoin, because what this chart explains is the number of units that the Bitcoin network is producing, or essentially the amount of hash that exists on the Bitcoin network. And each node or each computer that is running code for Bitcoin, basically each miner, they are operating the Bitcoin network, processing transactions, and this is the amount of power that is being used for all of these transactions. So more and more people are becoming miners, and the technology for that is improving more and more. Ethereum and other cryptocurrencies are also improving. Ethereum is making big changes that will help it handle more transactions as well. When Ethereum becomes faster and cheaper, more people use it. Technology improvements across crypto make the entire market healthier, attracting even more investors. By the end of 2025, these changes could significantly boost prices. The global economy also affects crypto prices. If the economy struggles or inflation remains high, more people might invest in Bitcoin, seeing it as safe like gold. But if the economy is strong, people might take more risks and invest in crypto as well, helping prices rise. However, if interest rates rise quickly, this could hurt Bitcoin, temporarily at least, as some investors might prefer safer assets. Analysts in 2024 were thinking that the economy in 2025 would help Bitcoin's price more than it hurts, but lately we've seen a bit more of what this article considers a stumble, as Trump declines to rule out potential recession this year. They've seen a lot of decline with tariffs and things like that. The economy's not doing fantastic right now, but it is yet to be seen what is going to happen. In the case of economic downturn generally, rising prices, especially during inflation, make Bitcoin attractive as a way to protect savings. Investors will watch closely how things like inflation, interest rates, and stock markets change to predict Bitcoin prices. As we take all this in, it's clear that many signs point to Bitcoin and crypto prices going higher in 2025, other than the kind of economic factor of it. History shows us that after a halving, the price typically rises significantly. Big investors join the market, there are clear regulations and technology improvements that all may help prices go up. However, prices won't just rise in a straight line. Investors should expect some bumps along the way, as we've seen this recent price dip from about 100,000 to 80,000, corrections as they call them, especially after these big increases. Smart investors stay calm during these dips, understand that these are normal parts of a healthy market. Overall, experts agree Bitcoin and crypto prices in 2025 will likely be higher than the beginning of this bull run, which was, in the middle of 2024, making it a very exciting year for both new and seasoned crypto investors. If you're interested in getting involved in Bitcoin and Ethereum and buying some crypto, I'll leave links to Coinbase and Crypto.com where you get $50 worth of crypto just for signing up. And if you're interested in being a little more risky and getting some meme coins, I'll leave a link down to MoonShot below. You can sign up with that and you get some free meme coins. Just need to sign up with that link, click claim meme coins once you signed up, and you'll be all set. If you learned something new today, make sure to like this video and hit subscribe so you don't miss any future updates. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you in the next one.